Hi, fifth graders. Today's lesson is 7-4 in your Envision Volume 1 textbook. Today we're going to subtract fractions with unlike denominators. Our lesson essential question, as you were introduced in the visual learning video, is how can we subtract fractions with unlike denominators? We're on page 281. We're going to work on solve and share together. Rose bought the length of copper pipe shown below. She used 1/2 yard to repair a water line in her house. How much pipe does she have left? Solve this problem any way you choose. Our hint here is you can use mental math to find equivalent fractions so that 1/2 and 4/6 will have like denominators. Show your work. So we're starting with 4/6 of a yard. We're using 1/2 of a yard. They don't have like denominators, which is going to prevent us from subtracting as they are. We need to take 1/2 a yard away from what we started with. We know that 2 is a factor of 6, or 6 is a multiple of 2. So we can change our 1/2 into 6. 1/2 of 6 is 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 1 times 3 is 3. So now we have equivalent fractions. We've got a common denominator here. Our equivalent fraction 1/2 equals 3/6. So 4 take away 3 is 1. And of course, when we subtract, we keep the same denominator. So we did several things here. We first decided that this is a subtraction problem. We're starting with 4/6. We're taking away 1/2 of it. 1/2 of a yard, not 1/2 of this pipe, sorry. So we need to figure out how many 6 that would be. We know that 1/2 of 6 is 3, and that's why we chose to subtract 3/6. All right. This went along with your visual learning video. The finding a common denominator was a little trickier here than in our example, because our example was very similar. We had a multiple. 6 is a multiple of 2, but it's just an easier number to work with. So let's look at, we're not going to look at do you understand, because that goes with the visual learning example, but we will practice some of these. Do you know how? Find each difference. So number 3 kind of explains or shows us the first step. We need to change our denominators. We have 4/7 and 1/3 that we're subtracting. We need a common denominator. So they've helped us out by showing us that 21 would be a common denominator. I want to show you that 7 times some number gives us 21, and that same number would give us 12. 4 times 3 is 12, 7 times 3 is 21. So 4/7 equals 12/21. 3 times 7 is 21, 1 times 7 is 7. So 1/3 is equivalent to 7/21. Now when we subtract, we look at the numerators. 12 take away 7 is 5. And our common denominator 21 remains the same. So that's how we subtract those fractions. Looking at the next problem, we have a denominator of 8 and a denominator of 4. I noticed that 8 is a multiple of 4. 2 is what we need to multiply our 4 times to get 8, so we can have a common denominator. So whatever we do to the denominator, we do to the numerator. 1 times 2 is 2. So we are now subtracting 2/8 instead of 1/4. They are equivalent fractions, so we're not changing the problem. We just got a common denominator. 5/8 take away 2/8. Well, 5 take away 2 is 3. And of course, we keep the common denominator of 8 in our answer. We'll do the same thing here. 8 and 3 don't have any common factors, so we just multiply times the other denominator. This one would be then 8. We look up there. So if we're going to multiply 8 times 3, we have to multiply 7 times 3. also. If we're going to multiply 3 times 8, then we need to multiply our 1 times 8. Now we have common denominators. 21 take away 8 is 13. And of course we keep the same denominator. Number 6, they've helped us out a bit. They've given us the common denominator of 5 and 6 is 30. 5 times 6 is 30. 4 times 6 is 24. They've given us our both equivalent fractions. 1 times 5 is 5. 6 times 5 is 30. So now we're just subtracting 24, take away 5 to get 19. And we keep our denominator of 30. Now we've solved all of these with finding a common denominator by multiplying. If the model helps you, if you're still needing to do it this way, that's fine. We'll do number 7 together, and then you're going to do 8 through 16 evens. And you will also do 22 and 23 in the back on your own. So 1/4 equals how many 8s? Well, 4 times 2 is 8, so 1 times 2 is 2. Or we look at our fraction bars, 1/4 is equivalent to 2 1/8. Then we start with 1/8 equals, of course, 1/8. That doesn't change. So 2 take away 1 is 1, and the denominator stays the same.